So, hi everyone. Today we have a special guest on our channel. We have Harsh with us. So, Harsh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Harsh. I have graduated from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology. I pursued computer science and engineering, and I'm currently working as a software engineer.
Right, at Apple. Say the main thing.
Yeah.
Right, right. So, we'll be getting to know his entire journey to Apple, and he's had a very interesting career altogether. So, Harsh, we'll like to know first what all companies have you cracked and what are the timeline of those companies, if you can explain to us once.
So I started doing an internship. My first internship was at Yash
Mm-hmm.
Technologies. That was my first unpaid internship.
Okay.
After that, I had a series of paid internships. My second company was Licious, in which I worked for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I interned there for 6 months, and then I followed it with Cisco, where I interned for 2 months. Tata 1MG, where I
Mm-hmm.
interned again for 2 months. I interned again at Apple for 6 months. Then I got a chance to work in PayPal for
Mm-hmm.
4 months, I guess, around. And then I finally rejoined Apple as a software engineer last December.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been around 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from that, I got chance to interview or for companies like VMware,
Mm-hmm.
which I was able to crack,
Okay.
Policy Bazaar. Then I don't exactly remember. There was Cisco, Policy
इतने सारे हैं
Bazaar,
कि you're
VMware,
starting to forget.
Zomato. Yeah, no, 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 nothing like that.
हाँ
And then I recently interviewed for Google.
हाँ. Nice, nice, nice. So as you guys can see, he has quite a bit of experience interviewing and even working. तो हर्ष एकदम स्टार्टिंग से स्टार्ट करते हैं. जब आप कॉलेज में थे तो आपका कोडिंग कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ, लाइक व्हाट वाज योर कोडिंग जर्नी इन कॉलेज, कब आपने स्टार्ट किया एंड कैसे आप इसमें आगे बढ़े?
So I started coding way back in standard 8,
हम्म.
but that was very basic. That was nothing related to DSA or something like that. So I did not code actually in my first year or even in second year
हम्म.
because I had a basic idea and it helped me at least pass my
हम्म.
exams, get good grades, and that was more than enough. So the first company that came to our college for internship was DShaw,
हम्म.
and I was not able to actually solve any of the questions, which was held on HackerRank. So that was a reality check for me.
हम्म.
And my internship interview for RCCM gave me another reality check where I was not able to answer any of the
हम्म.
questions. So that was the time when I started actually coding, solving DSA problems, algorithm problems. So basically, you can assume it by the start or mid of my third year
हम्म.
is when I seriously started coding.
मतलब डीएसए वगैरह के साथ.
जी जी जी.
हम्म. तो प्रीटी लेट वी कैन से, नॉट लाइक यू स्टार्टेड विद फर्स्ट ईयर एंड ऑल, या फिर
Yeah,
एकदम
nothing like
11
that.
12 से ही आईओआई का प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर दिया, नॉट लाइक दैट, राइट?
Nothing like that. Nah.
ऑल राइट. तो जैसे आपने इतने सारे कंपनीज का इंटरव्यू क्रैक किया, एप्पल पेपैल हो गई, एंड ऑल ऑफ दीज कंपनीज मतलब अच्छा खासा डीएसए पूछती है ना. मतलब आप ऑफ कैंपस जाओ
Mm.
कहीं भी तो डीएसए अच्छा खासा होता है. तो आपने कैसे इम्प्रूव किया डीएसए में, आपका क्या स्ट्रेटेजी था, या व्हाट वाज योर मतलब जर्नी विद डीएसए एंड इम्प्रूविंग इन प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग?
So this is what I tell to every junior who asks me the same question. So my logic is क्योंकि मुझे कुछ आइडिया नहीं था कितने सारे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स हो गए फ्रॉम array टू ट्राइज और कितने सारे एल्गोरिदम्स हो गए. व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू जनरली वाज कि मैं सबसे पहले उस कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में क्लियर अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेता था. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल हैश मैप. तो हैश मैप कैसे इंटरनली वर्क करता है. हैश मैप में हम हाउ डू वी एक्चुअली अंडरस्टैंड द linear chaining or double hashing, something like that. So have an understanding. Then for 1 week, I used to solve that particular data structures by resolving it around 7 to 10 questions per topic, being 5 easy, 3 to 4 medium, and 1 hard. And then एक बार ये एक इटरेशन सारे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर का कंप्लीट हो गया, एल्गोरिथम का कंप्लीट हो गया, आई यूज्ड टू लेवल अप by increasing the number of medium and hard questions and reducing the number of easy questions.
Right, right. And I think this is a very good strategy, especially if you're starting out. If anyone is starting out, same thing. I also don't suggest कि आप random अब solving करो. You should do मतलब topic by topic है ना, एक topic आप अच्छे से समझो,
Yeah.
थ्योरी पे भी थोड़ा बहुत ध्यान देना चाहिए। आई बिलीव लाइक यू सेड एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपका जब तक नहीं होगा कि डेटा स्ट्रक्चर कैसे वर्क करता है, प्रॉब्लम तो आप सॉल्व नहीं कर पाओगे, आपको डिफिकल्टी होगी, राइट। तो व्हाट अबाउट दी हार्डर टॉपिक, जैसे एक तो हमारा हो गया एरेल, इंग्लिश, ये सब जो ऑलमोस्ट सबसे बन जाते हैं। फिर हमारा आता है थोड़ा मोर डिफिकल्ट टॉपिक, ग्राफ हो गया, डीपी हो गया, जो बच्चों से नहीं हो पाता है या फिर इस पे मास्टर नहीं कर पाते हैं। एंड हमारी जो टॉप फैंग कंपनीज होती है, गूगल, एप्पल, जैसे आपने गूगल के भी इंटरव्यूज दिए, तो यू नो कि वो उसी पे फोकस करता है, हार्डर टॉपिक्स पे। तो अपने हार्डर टॉपिक्स को कैसे मास्टर किया?
तो आई डोंट थिंक इन कोई भी फार्म कंपनी बहुत हाई लेवल डेटा स्ट्रक्चर पूछती है, लाइक दे वोंट आस्क यू अबाउट फेनविक ट्रीज या
हम्म।
फिर और कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड डेटा स्ट्रक्चर जो इन कॉमन यूज नहीं है.
हम्म।
So people actually get confused regarding that. So I don't have a mastery. And I'm not expert in solving those questions or bit segmented tree, something like that. मैंने
हम्म।
नहीं किया है. But to master even complicated data such as like trie,
हम्म।
graph,
ट्री एंड ऑल, डायनेमिक प्रोग्रामिंग,
or
या।
yeah, the DP and all, there are so many good
हम्म।
playlists that is all over the internet that you don't need to pay for or something like
हम्म।
that. आप वहां से अपना बिल्ड करना शुरू करो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, people forget कि people directly try to use DP
हम्म।
instead of using recursion. Once someone has mastered
करेक्ट।
recursion, has an idea कि अरे recursion में मैं यहाँ पे top down DP लगा सकता हूँ.
हम्म।
Once they at least go from recursion to top down DP, they'll be easily able to come up with a solution for bottom up DP.
हम्म।
And even if you are doing top down DP, it's more than okay in most of the companies.
हम्म।
So people actually try to go to the nth step without going to n minus
हम्म।
one
यस।
step, which is
लोग
important.
डायरेक्ट फाइनल अप्रोच पे पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं, राइट।
Yeah,
इट्स अ स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस, आपको
yeah.
एक एक करके जाना होता है ना। तो जैसे आपने बोला प्लेलिस्ट, आपने कुछ पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्सेस फॉलो किए थे या फिर आप जस्ट सर्च करते थे अकॉर्डिंग टू द टॉपिक, यानी पर्टिकुलर प्लेलिस्ट यू फॉलोड?
So the people I followed in general for my coding experience and my DSA was,
हम्म।
I'll list it down. It was Abdul Bari sir,
हम्म।
who is very famous and who has very clear understanding of the
यस,
basics
करेक्ट।
basics in आपको कोर अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप करने के लिए उस डेटा स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में, इंटरनल वर्किंग के बारे में.
हम्म।
आई थिंक ही इज द बेस्ट गाय टू हैव एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ the working behind the questions and the working behind the intuition. I think I followed Shriver
हम्म।
and Aditya Verma, which is great. I did not get a chance to follow Love Babbar and all, but everyone is making great
हम्म।
content out there in terms of how to solve a particular question.
हम्म।
So I think this is more than enough. These 3 or 4% were more than enough for me to have an understanding.
राइट, राइट, राइट। एंड जो भी रिसोर्सेज हर्ष बता रहे हैं, हम उनको मतलब डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल देंगे, तो आप लोग डिस्क्रिप्शन से यू कैन जस्ट गेट द रिसोर्सेज। All right. So let's go a bit towards development from DSA, because you know there's a debate DSA development and all. तो how was it for you? क्या आपने DSA पे ही सारा फोकस किया या आपने डेवलपमेंट भी थोड़ा थोड़ा बैलेंस किया? आपने कैसे किया?
So I tried to have a taste of everything.
हम्म।
So I did not get a lot of chance to work on my personal projects क्योंकि मैं सेकंड थर्ड ईयर के बिगिनिंग से कोई ना कोई इंटर्नशिप में इन्वॉल्व था.
हम्म।
सो इट एक्चुअली हेल्प्ड मी इन
या।
पैरेलल ऑटोमेटिकली कि मैं अपने डेव स्किल्स डेवलप करूं.
हम्म।
फॉर एग्जांपल, व्हेन आई वर्कड इन यश टेक्नोलॉजीज, आई हैड दे गेव मी अ प्रोजेक्ट ऑन स्प्रिंग बूट. So I had to work on Spring Boot and understand how it works. How
हम्म।
minutely I understood, that is a different story. But 2 महीने में आप जितना सीख सकते हो, आप मैंने सीखा. Licious में when I worked, I had to work on Flutter
हम्म।
because that was the core data, the
टेक
stack, tech
स्टैक।
stack.
हम्म।
Cisco में I had to work on Python and data cleaning, data
हम्म।
filtering, etc. And Tata Banerjee again, I had to work on backend, Celery, Python. So I did not extensively worked on these skills. However, I got a chance to develop them while I was working on their projects. So that actually helped me in having an understanding. Moreover, I feel once you have an understanding of, this is my personal
हम्म।
opinion, once you have an understanding of most of the data structures, and even if you have a good skill on one of the languages,
हम्म।
you will be able to master and replicate the same logic in
हम्म।
other languages.
यस।
Since you have ChatGPT now, you have so many AI tools now, you don't need to. master any of the languages. You just need to have an
Hmm.
understanding of what you really want to do.
Correct, correct. For DSA, at least the main thing is your like intuition or your problem solving skills. Once you're able to solve it in one language, you can easily solve it in another. And
Exactly. Yeah.
so you have quite experience in development, right? It's not like you stayed in one tech stack. You've had, like you said, experience different tech stack. So one more thing that a lot of people ask me, probably they ask you also, is what tech stack they should choose. People get confused because many YouTubers are promoting different things. Someone is saying Merge stack, someone is saying Java, someone is saying Django and all. So how do you think someone can choose the tech stack that they will go forward? How do you suggest someone chooses the tech stack?
I don't think I have encountered any interview or any place right now. Maybe I am a fresher. That might be a different story. But where my tech stack or my language has been a barrier
Hmm.
in them preferring me or not. For
Hmm.
example, it was never a case where they wanted someone from Python where I had a Java background.
Hmm.
So it was never the case for me. So I think any tech stack that you really like, you really enjoy, should be should be okay,
Hmm.
because say for most of the people who folks who are fresher or who are having 2 3 years of experience at least, they don't require you to extensively
Hmm.
have a clear understanding of another tech stack. And that being said, again, say the same logic where if you now you have so many AI agents, you don't need to you can ask, okay, what is the similar thing of getting a put request from
Hmm.
Flask to Spring
Yeah,
Boot,
correct.
and that you will get an understanding. So
Hmm.
most of the people code like this where they ask Stack Overflow, you can use ChatGPT for the
Hmm.
same thing. That being said, the tech stacks, if you want to go ahead, something you want to start working on for for this for current trends will be. So for you, you want to be stay in trend.
Hmm.
You don't want to work
Yeah,
on
outdated
outdated
technologies,
technologies like
correct.
PHP or
Yes.
Django. So I'll suggest for backend Next.js, uh, and for the front end React.js. That's more than enough. Java Spring Boot will be evergreen.
Hmm.
Every organization will use it no matter what. Uh, then for Android development, you can look into React again, the same
Hmm.
thing. And for iOS development, Swift will stay for a long time.
Yes.
So these are the 3 4 things that is more than enough to help you
Hmm.
gain mastery.
करेक्ट करेक्ट मेरी भी एडवाइस यहाँ पे वैलिडेट हो गई बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो टेल द सेम थिंग स्पेशली फॉर जावा मतलब जो भी लोग जावा में जाते हैं उनको मैं यही सजेस्ट करता हूँ कि स्प्रिंग बूट अगर आप सीख रहे हो एंड जैसे फ्रंट एंड में रिएक्ट हो गया आप वो सीख रहे हो तो दैट आर दोज आर सॉर्ट ऑफ एवरग्रीन थिंग्स कि हर कंपनी में आपको मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज में आपको मिल ही जाएगा एंड लाइक हर्ष सेड
Yeah.
कि प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज जो होती है स्पेशली एज अ फ्रेशर अगर आप 7 8 ईयर एक्सपीरियंस हो तो अलग बात होगी बट आप 0 to 2 years हो 0 to 3 years में हो तो आपका टेक स्टैक उतना मैटर नहीं करेगा देन योर स्किल्स अगर आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल कम्युनिकेशन स्किल ये सब अच्छी है तो द टेक स्टैक विल नॉट बी अ बैरियर इन द इंटरव्यूज लाइक हर्ष सेड राइट. All right.
Yeah.
So one more thing that I want to ask you because you have appeared in so many interviews, you've also cracked so many companies, and काफी सारे opportunities आपको मिले हैं basically. And right now there's a problem with freshers, people from 2023 batch, 24 batch, even some 2022 batch students. What the issue that they're facing is they're not able to get the interviews. Even when they're prepared, they feel like they have all the skills necessary. They're not getting the interviews. Nobody's giving them a chance basically. So how would you say ki you were able to get those opportunities and anyone else right now going through the same thing can will be able to get multiple opportunities?
Yeah. I think the situation right now is quite better,
अभी
because
थोड़ा हुआ है improve.
I see a lot of
हाँ.
yeah, I see a lot of LinkedIn DMs that I get from recruiters.
हाँ.
So the situation was very bad in 2023,
Yes.
and it will get better, and people will be able to crack jobs now.
Hmm.
The thing that I want to tell to freshers is what happens majorly is, and this is quite the opposite of any advice that people generally give, that make your resume very compatible with the job description and everything. That is important, of course, but my opinion here varies. I'll suggest apply more in quantity rather than quality.
Hmm.
And this is the complete opposite of what everyone will recommend. The reason I say this is every job, whether it's of Microsoft, whether it's of Atlassian, whether it's of anything, if the job is posted 4 hours ago, it will get closed in
Hmm.
in a day or
बिल्कुल
so.
बिल्कुल.
And that because and the recruiter majorly in most of the times looks at the top 100
Hmm.
200 candidates. The reason being the and that is in the first 1 hour or first two
Hmm.
hours. So if you become very selective and take your time, maybe you don't get the chance to even apply for that particular job.
Hmm.
So applying in bulk and getting a chance is much easier than applying selectively. That is one thing. So I used to apply around 100 jobs every day
Hmm.
without fail during my internship. So that was one of the things that helped me in at least getting an interview,
Hmm.
getting a chance. The second thing is having connections is very important right
Yes.
now. Even with referrals, you're not guaranteed anymore to get a chance, which is very sad for the batches of 2024 and beyond. I at least had that benefit where with referrals I used to get an
Hmm.
interview. Now it's no more the case because everyone is getting
Referral.
getting a referral.
Yeah.
But still I feel referral will definitely help you out, and
Hmm.
building a good connection, good network is very important. Being very active on LinkedIn is very important. Showcasing your skills is very important.
Hmm. That's very true. That's very true. And speaking of LinkedIn, guys, do follow him on LinkedIn. I'll give his LinkedIn in the description. He's also getting active on LinkedIn, posting some amazing content. Make sure that you give him a follow. And LinkedIn, I feel एक बहुत अच्छा रोल प्ले करता है. Like you said, referral अब सब लोग referral मांग रहे हैं. Awareness सबको आ रही है ना. पहले awareness नहीं थी, लोग referral नहीं मांग पाते थे. Now everyone knows and everyone is trying to make connection. And in this, the way you can stand out is making good connection. एक होता है जस्ट अपना LinkedIn connection, एंड एक होता है समवन हु यू हैव टॉक टू. जैसे आप अपनी सीनियर्स से हेल्प मांग सकते हो, उनसे कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, उनसे आप बात कर सकते हो किसी टॉपिक पे, सो दैट दे नो कि आप में क्या स्किल्स है ना. जस्ट हैविंग कनेक्शंस, लाइक ऑब्वियसली इफ
Yeah,
समवन नोज यू how you are technically, they'll be more willing to refer you than a stranger, है ना.
of course.
Hmm. Right. So speaking of Apple, how was the interview process of Apple? Like, was it hard? What kind of interview process did you face?
So yeah, the Apple interview was hard. There were more than 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I won't tell the exact number, but there were more than 5 rounds, and it was quite in depth regarding all the concepts that you study in your college and some skills that are required in JD.
Hmm.
So my Apple round consisted of a deep understanding of data structures. The data structures were basic,
Hmm.
so it was not the advanced data
अच्छा.
structure,
हाँ.
but they expected me to have a clear understanding of how how that particular data structure works.
Hmm.
So how, let's say, for example, how how stack actually works in behind, or how actually beta tree or the beta plus trees work in behind, which people don't have an understanding to.
Hmm.
I was lucky that I studied this. I just played a YouTube video and I was able to answer that.
Yeah.
Then another thing that they were asked was they very much deep dive into operating systems
Hmm.
concept. They deep dive into uh,
CS fundamentals.
OOPS concept, computer networks concepts, and then they expected me to have an understanding of what was required in their job description.
Hmm.
So even if there were topics that I did not have any idea, for example, let's say kernel,
Hmm.
or how browser kernel
Hmm.
works, or let's say, for example, any networking technology,
Hmm.
or for example, any camera technology or Bluetooth technology,
Yes.
they at least expected me to do some research so that I can actually explain something about it.
Hmm.
And how it works is, even if they don't require it, you have telling them that okay, I have studied about it, shows that you are really enthusiastic about it and you are really looking forward to that opportunity.
Hmm.
So that will always play a big plus. So I had that. The HR rounds are quite light, but you need to have a depth based
Hmm.
understanding of the core concepts and your DSA knowledge.
Hmm. Right, right. So you're saying rather than it being too difficult on the problem level, it was more difficult on the concept level. तो अगर किसी को conceptual knowledge नहीं है and in-depth understanding नहीं ऊपर ऊपर से है तो they'll have difficulty cracking a company like
Yeah.
Apple, right?
Yeah, you don't need a CP knowledge, but you need
हाँ.
uh, knowledge of everything that is the thing beyond abstraction,
Hmm.
something that is like underlying architecture.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And I think for most of the FANG companies, it's better if you have a underlying knowledge, right? It will definitely help you in your rounds
Yeah.
and all. Okay, so I guess we've pretty much discussed a lot of things. So on a final note, on a closing note, what advice would you like to give the students who are watching this video?
So I'll say that enjoy your college life, but at the same time, stay in touch with what you really what you're looking forward in the next 2 to 3 years. For example, if you're looking for doing a master's in the coming future, make sure that you are able to do 1 or 2 research internships,
Hmm.
which people forget to do in the flow of college. If you're looking for some job for improving a resume, make sure that you do 1 or 2 internships,
Hmm.
which is very important, which plays a bigger role in getting your resume selected. Apart from that, I think second year is the most crucial year because you have all the concepts covered from OS to data structures there. So make sure that you're very attentive in second year. Have a decent CG,
Hmm.
which will play a role in your on campus, not in your off campus, and make good connections.
Okay, so that's some great advice right there. And if anyone wants to connect with Harsh one to one, if they want to ask any advice for him regarding their situation, then you can connect with him on TopMate. I'll give a link in the description. It'll also appear on the screen. Apart from that, I'll also give his LinkedIn so that you guys can follow him there. So thanks a lot, Harsh, for taking out your time, coming on my channel and sharing your journey. I hope it'll help a lot of students. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this. You're actually helping a lot of people out. I checked your channel out. It has got some quite crazy people coming out there and crazy content. So kudos for that. Sorry for not meeting up because I did not actually get time. But you're doing great work in helping younger students, and I wish I had something like this when I wanted a career path. So I basically tried and tested everything to
Yeah,
find what is the right thing.
correct.
So you coming out will be very beneficial for 24, 25 batch and beyond.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Do subscribe, guys. Listen to him.
Thank you so much. Yeah.